Hello, this is Nicholas Mastrangelo.
I'm Reese Robinson.
And we are interns with the Martha's Vineyard Film Festival. We're asking people about activism versus terrorism, as our upcoming film is about Angela Davis, a controversial historic figure.
What does it mean to be an activist?
To be an activist is to be somebody who believes in something.
Someone who cares about particular issues to the point where they're willing to, obviously, act on them and participate in improving the situation.
An activist is someone who wants to get involved and try to work hard for the cause that they believe in.
An activist is someone who is passionate about some social issue and puts that, not only thinks about it, but responds to it in very practical ways.
Somebody who goes out and tries to change something and to make it better. I mean, I mostly think of it in terms of social justice, but I know there are activists who are on the other side of questions of social justice.
Somebody who gets out in the public, expresses their views for positive reasons.
Someone who's passionate about a cause that they feel strongly about and want to change whatever they feel is wrong.
Without causing trouble.
If there's violence, I would call them a terrorist.
I think if we think about traditions like Gandhi or Martin Luther King, we often think about non-violent activism. But I think we can also think of wars like the Civil War, abolitionist, or John Brown as an activist, but he engaged in violence.
I think terrorism is just plain terrorism. Activism is, it's free country. It's free speech. That's activism to me.
I think terrorism is activism at its worst.
Uses terror for social change.
People go about activism without the intention of hurting others, whereas terrorism, it's no holds barred. They don't care who they impact to get their point across.
I think a terrorist is somebody who goes out and uses violence on innocent people.
Terrorism is what happened at the finish line at the Boston Marathon. It's what happened at 9/11. It's what happens, going through an airport now. There's constant threat of bad people doing bad things.
Angela Davis, that was when I was my daughter's age.
I know, yeah.
Back in the... Do I look that old? That I would remember Angela Davis?
Angela Davis?
Well, that was a long time ago, and I'm not...
Actually, since I'm my age, I forget all the details. Yeah. She was with the Black Panther movement, as I remember.
Activist.
Oh yeah, she's an activist. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, not a terrorist.
Would you call Hinckley activist, a terrorist, or a deranged attempted murderer?
I'm going to go out on a limb. They're right at that border between the two. Although I can't remember all the details of Black activists.
I believe that a lot of the effort that she put into her cause didn't result in substantial number of violent acts and loss of life. And
Depends on your definition. I guess you could say he was all three.
Philosophy professor Angela Davis admitted that she is a member of the Communist Party.
Who put her on the top 10? Everybody had a file on it.
Her first lecture drew 2,000 students.
Angela's education is now being put into practice.
Angela Davis purchased 4 guns.
There is a conspiracy in the land. It's a conspiracy to wipe out the black community as a whole.
Well, I think she's trying to overthrow our system of government, and she admits that.
The actions of the FBI in apprehending Angela Davis, a rather remarkable story.
A U.S. District Court judge set bail at $100,000.
She knows that the movement to free all political prisoners is growing every day.
This entire incident was a deliberate provocation.
They wanted to break me. They wanted me to respond.
There was enormous feeling for Angela everywhere in the world.
We know that she is innocent.
We want to tell that Pharaoh in Washington to let Angela Davis go free.
What they're doing to her is an exaggerated form of what happens every day to black people in this country.
What does it mean to be a criminal in this society?
They are not going to kill her. They're not going to imprison her. We're going to free her. We're going to win her freedom.